Yeah, we'll have like a,
Kristina's.
uh, hey everybody, we're live, and we actually had a different intro and we needed to change it. So here we are, ready to go. And I am with a very, very special co-host, Jen Sylvester, and I'm so happy you're here, Jen. It's been a minute since we've chatted, so
It's
we
been a
got a
while.
pretty good live stream today, so don't we?
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited. I was thinking about this earlier, and it's like, you know, having a crappy title is like building the world's best house, beautiful, absolutely gorgeous on the inside, and like sticking it next to the freeway because nobody wants to see it because of the location, because people are drive by and be like, yep, not interested. Yep, not interested. They're not even gonna go inside
Yeah.
because of the what they perceive from the outside. So I don't know if that analogy is a
That's a
real
really good
that's
analogy, actually. I like that analogy. I liked it. Yeah, it is. It's true. Like if I'd go, we're talking titles right now, but your thumbnail and then your title, right? So like you could have an okay thumbnail, but if your title is not engaging, it does not pull you in, then honestly, people are gonna, just like you said, they're gonna just want to drive on by.
they're
They're
not
not
even
gonna
gonna
care.
stop. No, if it's not something that's catchy, then they're not even getting them in the front door. And I mean, I've most definitely have done this, on a previous channel, an older channel. I'd have this great content, be all excited and all the things, and you spend hours, researching and recording and editing, and then it flops
Hmm.
because the title.
Right.
Title and thumbnail.
Well, I mean, honestly, that's a big part of it, is that people, you put a lot of energy and effort into it, and then you're like, well, why didn't it get anywhere? And it really is because you haven't put a lot of thought into your title. And that is something that it's same thing with a thumbnail. People are just like, I'm just going to throw one up. And a title is a title. Like nobody really cares. You don't living in, right? Or
Yeah.
like verses or whatever. And there really is like value in having a title that doesn't suck.
That's
So,
true. I mean, because that's the first thing that, I mean, I was thinking about this too with even like Netflix, right? Netflix
mhm.
is doing the thing with the thumbnails, and for sure I've noticed it because I'll go in and sometimes I don't even get past the thumbnail, right? Because I look at the thumbnail, my eyes just glaze right over. I don't even get to the title. But how many movies have you seen that are like the title you've passed over because the title's like, eh.
You're like, yeah, I'm not really interested in
And then
that.
you click on it,
I don't really care about that.
yeah, exactly. But then the thumbnail, like you're like, I recognize that actor. So maybe then you click on it and it ends up being like a fantastic movie. But the
Mhm.
thumbnail is like
Not good at all.
boring. Yeah. Not the thumbnail, the title was boring.
Yeah.
So it's just it's something that I think a lot of a lot of content creators, especially in our space, um it's like, oh, we got to think of a title. You got to, you've got to create this, you know this marketing masterpiece title. And it's a little bit different, right? It's a little bit different, as I've learned from you guys. It's entirely different in how you get those magic words that get people to actually click.
Yeah, so let's talk about that for a minute. What did you learn that maybe you didn't know before? Because you've done YouTube for a long time. Like,
Yep.
so what is it that maybe stood out that maybe you didn't know before, or maybe it didn't cross your mind, or maybe it wasn't as important when putting together the titles? Can you
So
give us an
so
example?
yeah, so what did I learn that I didn't know before? Everything. I'm like, okay,
Good answer. Good answer. That's a great answer.
this is the book of information that I knew, that I thought I knew. Yeah, throw it away and then start over. I mean, that literally was what I had to do, which was super, super hard because I didn't understand the main thing, and I think the secret ingredient that a lot of people gloss over, the secret ingredient that I think a lot of people are like, no, it's it's got to be something else. And it truly, truly is the fact that you are making this content for a one particular viewer. one person, one person,
Yep.
and everything you do is for that one person. I think that, especially in the real estate space, we look at it from a very broad perspective, right? We're like, we are real estate agents. We're looking at all people that want to buy and sell. And I want all the peoples to come see me. And I want to be able to appeal to all of them. And that's the biggest mistake, because you can't reach everyone. The YouTube algorithm is not, it's not a game. It's not. That's the other thing I learned. It's not a game. It's not a, I've got to be able to put these certain words in the title to kind of, trick the algorithm and to, putting me up first. No, the secret to having and the secret to reaching your people is to, how can you teach the algorithm? How can you convey? How can you communicate to the algorithm? I think of the algorithm as a person. They're the traffic director of all the big wide YouTube land, all the viewers. The traffic director is like, okay, so I don't have an address, but where do you want me to send these videos to? I have no idea. I have no idea where you want me to send them to. It's like, okay, oh, so you want to find people that are looking, you want real estate agents and that want to know about crappy titles. Okay, so you want to take a left on, whatever. And that's the thing. It's not like, oh, we need crappy because crappy is, whatever word or whatever, not for SEO. It's really like, how do you train? And so that was huge for me. So like, for my channel, after researching it for, oh gosh, 9 months, I said, okay, I'm going to focus on home sellers. That's my, Michael is the guy that I'm making videos for. And, he's in his early 40s and, starting off a family, blah, blah, blah. And every title I made had that in mind. Every title, home sellers or, some with that particular focus.
So you knew exactly who you were talking to.
Yep.
And that sounds so simple, but it's so hard.
It's so hard.
When you really break it down, because you're trying to figure out, one, first of all, who is watching your content. And then two, we talk a lot about you're making like the content for the viewer instead of what you want to make.
So go ahead. That's huge. That's huge. And how often, even, in our awesome, geeks group, okay, that, we learn from each other and in our conversations, it comes up all the time. I really want to make a video about this. I really think, I don't really want to talk about that. And
it's like, well, it
doesn't matter.
Is it for you?
Yes.
And if it's for you, great. Then don't be mad if nobody cares.
Nobody cares. And that's the thing is, right. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Yeah. We're going to say the same thing. So go ahead and say it.
We are totally. And you know how passionate I get about this stuff because, it's like when things started to click and I started to get traction, it was like, oh my gosh, I get it now. Oh my gosh, I really get it now. And then I will say that, to be perfectly honest, I am 10 times more excited about the content. Like I found my voice on where I am supposed to be in this whole maze, like 2 or 3 months in. I kind of just had faith in the fact that this is the way it was supposed to go and said, okay, this is how you research titles. This is how you research thumbnails. This is the correlation. Okay, I have faith. I have faith. And then it was a couple months in, it was like, oh, yeah, okay. And now it's kind of working in unison where I want to talk about this content, but I am not driving that content. I'm getting the content ideas and the title ideas from my recon channel. We've talked about a lot about about recon and on this, on these live streams in terms of, knowing who your audience is. And I think that's the big thing is looking at that recon for inspiration for content, but also looking at it for title information.
Yeah.
So I'll go there and be like, okay, so my guy, Michael, is watching this type of content, and I'll look at all the content that pops up on that recon channel for other content, and it's all over the place, and it's sometimes it's, different, building things or whatever. Not, it's like completely not related to real estate, but it doesn't matter. And I try to look for the word patterns, right? I
Yep.
try to look at, like, okay, this color comes up, or this word pops up, and then I meld the two. I try to
Yep.
meld the two, in terms of trying to find a title that the YouTube traffic director is going to understand, that my destination is Michael.
Yeah.
Help me get to Michael. And then the traffic director will say, okay, okay. Oh, I clearly understand where Jen needs to go on this because of how I structure the title.
Yeah, because you understand. So there's a comment here. It says, TC Home Lifestyle says, I do home tours, and no matter how I title the video, sometimes it's just crickets with viewers. What do you have to say about that?
So here's the thing: is what I would do with when it comes to home tours, right? So your audience is going to be people that want to watch home tours. So you need to try to do some homework, some research, recon. This is what I would do: recon other channels that create that type of content, and see what type of, what's their word structure. What are the words? Are there any particular words that they're using that seems to be a repeatable pattern on multiple videos? Just say, for, if you keep seeing the word amazing over the last month, 6 weeks, on specifically home tours, and those home tours are getting views, there's a lot. Brad McCullum, I mean, go to his channel. I mean, he's like the king of the home tours, in terms of, I mean, there's a lot of high end home tours, but you look at those types of home tours. That's what I would do. Is you've got to check and see what other people are watching to see where those patterns are. What do you think, Joe?
Yeah, I agree, and I want to maybe dive in a little bit deeper. And I know our subject is titles, but that's just one piece of it. So what I think what we're trying to help people understand is that when you know who you're making content for, there's a recipe. And the recipe, when you put all the ingredients in together, then you have something that works. And that's really what we teach in the Real Estate Video Geeks, is how to understand what that recipe is. And when you understand that recipe, then all of a sudden things start to click. And it could take a little bit of time, but the reason that it works is because you finally understand like how to make good cookies. The first time you make a cookie, if you don't know how you need sugar or this or that, then it's not going to turn out as good. And so one of the things that I want to do, and I don't know, Jen, if you are okay with this, but we're going to chat about you for a minute, because I think this is super important for people to see where you were and where you're going, and why you did what you did and how you got there. And I think this is really important for the viewers, and the titles are definitely a huge part of this.
Yep.
But what Jen is doing, we're not just talking about YouTube. Like, she's actually doing things that are creating results. And so this is why we're doing this live stream, is to show you guys that it's possible. And I kind of want to show, okay, if you look at it, and I don't know if you can see it that clear, but let's look and see. Your channel started in
February 26th.
Yeah. So basically you joined YouTube, but you didn't actually start posting until February 26th.
Yep.
So you have right now, and we don't really care too much about this. The subscribers are awesome, but really what we're looking at is views.
Yep.
And your views, you've got over 1,145,257 views since you started posting on this channel, brand new.
7 months.
7 months.
Yep.
So let's look at some of these. Look at this. Exposing
That
the
just posted like
lies.
that posted 10 minutes,
Or yeah,
15
14
minutes
minutes
ago.
ago. Exposing the lies behind selling a home as is.
Yes.
That's a great title.
Thank you. Yeah.
That is.
So that one was interesting because that was a actually perfect example of melding because so that particular video, part of it is gut because I've been, I've building a community and, watching what they resonate with and what content they resonate with. And so my gut, part analytics, I said, okay, this content, I feel like there's something there with this content selling a home as is. So I did my recon, found a video that came up, but it was like 11 months ago. Right. But it performed well. The
Mhm.
video that I used as inspiration was the top performing video on a very small channel. They had like 100,000 views, and that was their top performing video, and all their other videos didn't do as well. So that video, because of that metric, that tells me that the audience, like for some reason, that particular video got in front of people because there was something special about that title and thumbnail that got people to click. So I took that, but I didn't want to use all of that from inspiration because it was 11 months ago. So then I went back to my recon channel and started looking at the hot words. What words kept coming, what come up, consistently. And I kept seeing lies. Lies came up a lot. A lot, in different types of videos, not real estate videos, but other different types of videos. And the same thing with the thumbnail. The thumbnail that thumbnail is not what the original video had. The inspiration, that's not anything like the original, the inspirational video. However, I took the fact that, me pointing, it resonates. So I looked at all my analytics. My audience likes it. I get good reaction when I'm pointing for some
Mhm.
reason. So that component works. The word scam came up on my recon on other videos, and so that kept on coming. So I said, you know what, that I'm gonna give this a go. And I did do an A/B test with me on one side and me on the other side, just basically flipped on the thumbnail. But the title was exactly that, was trying to convey and again, just trying to be super clear to the YouTube traffic director on who I'm trying to make this video for. Period.
Yep.
So,
Yeah, that's great advice. And you actually just unloaded a lot of information that people, may not completely understand, but what you said in a few minutes is actually months of work trying to understand and
mm,
trying to process. And
a
so,
year. It was a
yeah,
year for me. It
yeah,
was it was
it's
a
a long
solid
time.
year. Yeah, I mean, I took the course February 23,
Yeah.
2023, and it was a year later that I launched the channel. But it is something that is worthwhile, regardless of what your YouTube goals are. If your YouTube goal is just to have a local channel or is to have a home tour channel, it doesn't matter how you get there. You still use something that relates to what we're doing here. It doesn't matter if you build, Joe, a 900 square foot house or a 3,000 or a 10,000 square foot house. You still need to know how to build a house.
Right. Yep. There may be different aspects that are a little bit different, but the general idea is, hey, I need help. These are the tools that you're going to need.
Yep. You can't build the house before you build the foundation.
Yep.
You can't put the front door in before you build the walls. Like
Yep.
you still gotta do it in order.
So,
Um,
Dave asks a question for you, Jen. He says,
so
question, do you get more subs from videos or live streams?
Oh, definitely videos for sure. Right now, definitely from and I most definitely, of course I watch, all of those analytics. Um, the live stream, the cool thing about live streams is that it reinforces um my my presence in the community. So
Right.
I'm building this community on my channel, and the folks will watch my videos and then they'll show up on the live stream and they'll hear me talk and they'll see that it's not BS. I am who I am, and the way I speak, the way I deliver, the way I interact with them,
You're the same.
um, it's the same person,
Yep.
right? And so they can see the authenticity, they can see that I care in all the things, and that will build. They may go back and watch a video, and subscribe from that video, but the reason they did that could have been initiated from the live stream. So I think it works in unison.
Yeah, I
You know what I
agree.
mean?
Yeah. And we got another great question. It says, what's your process for coming up with your title? I know before you mentioned I can check out other people's videos. Anything else?
Mm. I mean, I think that in itself, to be honest, is exactly that. It's checking other videos, but then going back and researching, what other content. Now, I mentioned a recon channel, and if you don't know what a recon channel is, it's basically like you're setting up a like my viewer, my target viewer is Michael. And Michael has all these different, attributes, and he likes to, do brew, craft. He likes to drink craft beer, and he likes to, all the things, starting a family and all that kind of stuff. I set up this channel. It's a process that gets taught to us through the course, and how to do it takes some time to set it up, but basically that recon channel represents what Michael is watching. And so every time I log in, I'm not clicking on videos I want to watch. It's not Jen's channel, it's Michael's channel. So I watch it as if I was him, and then that channel will give me clues on what I should put in that title. So if the word lies comes up a lot, if the word scam comes up, if the word whatnot, that's I look out for those clues. The other thing that I do, it depends on the content. If I'm doing if it's because I do cycle through my content every week, I'm doing a different playlist, a different bucket. And when I do a housing market rotation every 4 weeks, I do a video on on the housing market. For that, I will go right. I won't look in the recon channel. I just go right to YouTube and type in housing market over the last month. And I'll look, and I'll actually go on Google as well. And I'll Google, and I'll look I'll look on the news and see what hot words are popping up today for that. What's the trend? What's everybody talking? Because it changes. Because that's the
Yep.
thing. If you could do a home tour channel and you research and you're like, oh, this is working now. A month from now, it could be completely different. Completely different. The thing is you want to spend as much time researching and crafting your title and your thumbnail as you do making the video.
Yeah.
I can't understate that enough. I spend, and this is no joke. I mean, and sometimes it's like, I can't start the video yet, but you got to do it. This is what this is. There has been a couple, and Joe, you're one of my coaches. You're not going to like to hear this. There's been like 1 or 2 situations where I've made the title after the fact. I know. And I told Jackie, I'm like, I feel so guilty. She's like, it's Jen, stop. Jackie, that Jackie is Jen, stop it. And so, but the thing is like, I mean, you can't do it that way, because I think that the best of the best will tell you, if you can't come up with a good title, if you can't come up with a good thumbnail, don't make the video.
Yep.
Because that's the gateway to getting people to your content. But it literally takes hours. It can take hours to find to get that taken care of before even, getting to filming the video. I hope
So
that answers the question.
that's a great answer. And again, a lot of information in there. The biggest thing, I think, that what you have to do is unlearn what you've learned. And that's the hardest thing with doing YouTube, because you hear how to do all these things and then you put your heart and soul in it and you're trying all these things. And it's this, my brother calls it the spaghetti against the wall approach, where you literally just chuck something and you're just hoping that something sticks, right? Like that it's something that will stick, and maybe you can ride that for a little bit. And then you're like, I don't even know why it worked. Like I got some traction, but I have no idea why. And so really what we're trying to do is educate people on how to get more views, how to get more, but ultimately as real estate agents, what does getting more views really mean?
Right.
Jen, what does that mean for you? Why do you put all this effort into this?
Mm.
What's the reasoning
So
before that?
I would, it was funny because I was just talking to Jackie about this the other day, and it's like, you know what? The getting more views is everything. Views are eyeballs. They're people. They're people. It's not numbers, it's people.
Yeah.
Almost 1.2 million people have come and watched my stuff. Me, little me. I'm nobody. I'm a little tiny speck in the YouTube universe, and 1.2 million people. I can't. How do you get in front of that many people? Ever, ever. Joe, we will never be in a stadium talking to that number of people. Like I know, not in my life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's everything. The subs. I truly, I mean, does it feel good to be like, oh, I'm almost at 10,000. That's. It's like, it does make you feel a little bit more confident or whatever. It feels good. It's kind of meaningless.
Yeah.
I mean, the only thing that I can say with the subs is that it has helped my views because of the returning viewers. And I've noticed more and more of my returning viewers, it's not a subscribe and leave.
Mm-hmm.
My numbers have shown that they're coming and they're coming back. They're coming back
because
every
you're providing value. You're speaking to your avatar. You've identified who it is. He knows that you're talking to him and they want more information. And then not only do they want more information, they watch you, they
Yep.
understand what you're doing, and then they trust you because they like you, because they know they've seen you on lives, they've seen you on your video, and they're like, she knows what she's talking about. I want more information from her. And then they reach out and they become a lead, which that lead then translates into a referral, which that
Right.
referral then translates into money,
Right.
right? That's
Yeah.
the
Well,
process.
yeah. And I was actually talking to somebody about this yesterday, and I've got an agent friend in California that we've been talking a lot about. He does a lot of podcasting. Dave Sidoni's been on my live stream before, and he's got a pretty successful podcast. And he's talking about the referrals and whatnot, and it blows my mind, Joe. I mean, I'm up to I've had since launched beginning of March, and this is just all you know David Manny says, I'm so talented. I don't feel like I'm talented. I just follow the program and practice and practice and practice and practice. And so you put the work in, and to have the fruits of your labor come back in the way of requested referrals. I've had 150 requests in the last 3 months.
Wait.
It's
Say that again. You had
yes,
150
yeah.
people reach out to you.
Yes, it's kind of bonkers. It's kind of bonkers in the last 3 months.
So when people say you're doing videos, but do you get any leads? What do you say to that?
Well, yes, I do. Do I see? Have I seen any monetary value? Any monetary? Yes, I've had AdSense. I've had one closed referral to date. I've got 2 more coming in November.
But these are seller leads, right?
Yes. Yes. 95% of of the folks, and I'll be honest, Joe, I hate calling them leads.
Yeah.
They're people. That's a personal thing. They're like, they're people. They're people that lead.
They're sellers that are looking to
they're,
sell.
they're home sellers. They're home sellers or home buyers. I just don't, I'm allergic to, it makes me, anyways, that's a personal thing. It's just like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, because of the fact that I truly believe that if
They're your people.
they're my people. And you know what? I'm gonna get a little hokey or whatever now. This is just the way I look at it, and a little off topic in terms of the motivations to do YouTube. And this is very real. I'm very honest with you. I have always gone into this. I mean, this is my next journey, right? I'm going to transition from a full-time real estate agent to a full-time YouTuber. January 2025 is the goal. And so you got to have food with your meals. You got to eat.
Right.
It's a pretty known thing. Okay. So there's got to be money. However, I have always approached this with, how can I help people? How can I provide value? How can I get my voice out? How can I reach people? How can I truly like impact? And this is, and I am being as real as I possibly can here. This is the way I've done my business for 28 years. I've been in real estate, and I've always approached it as, take care of people first, do the right thing, walk around as if you got $1 million in the back on your back pocket. You don't need the money, and that will drive you to make the right decisions. And you know what will happen organically, Joe? The leads follow, the money follows. So like whenever I sit down, I don't sit down and be like, okay, what video am I going to make to get me views so I can get money? What video can I make to get leads? How can I get leads? I need leads. I think if you do a shift in your mindset, if you do home tours, you're like, you know what? I've got this great house, and I know that there's people out there that want to see this house. This is an awesome freaking house. If you do that with passion and in sincerity and authenticity, people will organically be attracted to you.
Yep.
And I think there's no magic sauce. I mean, literally, I do a very soft call to action because that's what you guys told me to do.
Yep.
About a third of the way in the video, I weave it into the video and just say, hey, listen, if you want to refer, I know my shtick is that, 80%, 20%, it's just the way I feel. I think 80% of the agents out in the real estate industry are not earning their money. I'll just leave it at that. And that 20% of them are spectacular. And I've made it my mission to vet out personally, those 20% agents. And if you want to be connected with one of those 20% agents, I tell them, click the link in the description. And that's it.
Yeah.
I don't say my name ever. I don't do an introduction. I don't put my name on the screen. I don't tell them who I am.
You
It's not
provide
about
value.
me.
You provide value. And
Yes.
that's the biggest thing is when people, especially if they're going to YouTube, there's a lot of reasons that they're going there. One of them is to learn. One of them is to be educated. And when you can provide value and people can sense that value and they see it, they're like, oh my gosh, like I want to learn more. I want to be around these types of people. And this is exactly everything that you're talking about is like, I smile because I'm like, yes, like, because that's what we teach. That's what we want. And the thing is that myself and Kristina and you and like all the other geeks that are a part of it are all givers. And the thing
Yes.
is that we give information. We don't hoard anything. If there's something that's working, we share because we know that we're all collaborators. We're not competition. And when you figure that out, and people can sense that, they see it, they're like, you know what? These people really do care about me. They really do want to do it. And then the other thing that goes along with this, because you can have all the care in the world and you can be like this authentic person, but if you're not consistent, then you will not ever make it. You have to be consistent with YouTube, and you have to be consistent with your message, and you have to be consistent to your avatar. You have to be consistent with your titles. All of these things matter. But the problem is that most people are getting told this, get viewers fast, get leads quick, get this or that. And they sell this crappy course that doesn't help them at all. And they put their effort into it. And then they're just like, I'm not any better off than I was. So now I want you to give kind of like your thought of knowing what you know now after going through our course that Kristina and I have, and applying the stuff, because you've gone through it many times and you've studied it and you've analyzed it and you've implemented it. Like, why don't you share with you like your experience of what you understand now that you and the power that you have understanding this stuff compared to what you did before the course?
So, I mean, I think the biggest thing is understanding that you there's so much to learn, and that you never stop. Period. Like, it's one of those things where I think a lot of these other it's like get rich quick, programs. 30 days, instant, wealth, and then that's it. 30 days and you're done. 60 days and you're done. 2 weeks and you're done. You're never done with this. Why? Because YouTube changes.
Yeah.
YouTube is constantly a moving target. And I think the thing that I've learned is that you learn how to dodge and weave, and you learn how to learn. You learn how to learn. You learn how that it is, a process of constantly being aware of how your audience changes, how your viewer changes, how YouTube changes. When I launched just 7 months ago, more B-roll. Jen, you need more B-roll. I remember Kristina, when she was looking at my first video, she's like, you got to add, a little bit more, little bit of this, a little bit of that, whatever. Guess what? It's now gone the other way. Why?
Yep.
Because the viewer has changed. And now I'm actually with my editor, delete.
Like scale back, dial down.
Back. And you know what? My retention has increased. I did a video. I tried a new format a couple weeks ago on a view about dated home trends. And my retention on that video is like 60%.
That's awesome.
For the entire video. And the retention lines, I'm like, oh my god. And I told the editor, no people in my video. I don't want any people. None. I don't want any.
It doesn't resonate. You're looking at your analytics and you're like, they don't like it when I do that.
No, because I looked at the analytics. I looked at my recon channel. I looked at other videos that my viewers watching, and I noticed the style of those particular videos are the ones that are doing well. And I said, I need to see if this is something that clicks with Michael. And so I did it. And I mean, did the video take off out of the gate? Nope. But all of a sudden it went from and then all of a sudden I texted Jackie. I'm like, oh my God, look at this. And it went doop. It was like the traffic director knew where to send the video. And I went from like 4,000 to 8,000 views pretty quickly. I think it's like 16, 17,000 or something like that, which is not, take it to the bank views. Doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? Some of the videos I've had, some of my videos, and to David's point earlier about the subscribers, I have videos that have far less views that have much higher subscriber counts.
Yeah.
And just like in real estate, most good real estate agents, you have your database of people, and you have your database of, ABC. And those have done like Brian Buffini, they teach the ABC, it's not just Brian Buffini, but you have your A and A+ people, you're super, super loyal. They'll refer you tons of business, and they're not going to work with anybody else. And then it works out to the B's and then the C's, the newer people, and so on and so forth. And so I approach the community and my channel the same way. And I know who my A+ are. I got this one guy, and I don't know what it's like Doug Celeste something. Every video he watches, every video he comments to other people's
raving
comments.
fan.
He's an A+.
Yep.
Now, has he gone on the live streams? I haven't seen him. Doesn't matter. He's still watching them, but it's like you create this community of people, and then it grows, because now it's like I post a video, and and of course the beginning of it is the subscribers, but they're like, if they were just a one and done viewer, it wouldn't work. But these people you create that culture, and there's a lot of cool stuff, Joe, coming with, and I'm sure you probably know what's coming down the pipe with the community tab, and what they're doing with YouTube's going to be doing with the community tab, which is going to be awesome. A lot of more, interaction to help foster that. But I mean, as far as the Geeks course is concerned, I mean, I think that's the biggest thing. It's the fact that it's a roadmap, and how I like, system and organizations and, things of that nature. But it's like, these are proven methodologies, number one. But number two, you're not doing it alone. You've got a whole group of people with you.
Yeah.
that are all working to trying to do the same goal. And I'll tell you, a lot of them in our group are all trying to do same content. We all do a lot of us do the same content. It doesn't matter. It
Yep.
doesn't matter if you're doing the same content. Because Joe and I, you and I could do the same exact video and it would be entirely different.
Yep. It would resonate with different people. It would resonate the different ways we talk, the different ways we explain things because of our life experience. And that's the thing that I think makes YouTube so unique, is that you get to be yourself. And you said something earlier on that I want to bring up because this is incredibly powerful, but you said it really quickly because you learned so much and it's kind of like ingrained in you, but you said you found your voice. And the thing
Mm,
is that people try to do YouTube and they try to get it out there, and for whatever reason it's not resonating, it's not working, it's not going. It's because they haven't there's a few reasons. One can be that you're not doing it right. You have to become a student of YouTube and you have to
yep.
understand what YouTube wants. Okay, that's one thing. But the other thing is people aren't dumb. And you mentioned
Yes.
it, that you're making content for the viewer, not what you want. You're making it for the viewer. And they understand when you talk about something and you know something and you are excited to teach them and tell them about it, they can feel that, as
Mhm.
opposed to you trying to uh, pull, like, to, say that you're doing something that you don't really care about, but it's fake, being fake. But when you find your voice and you are who you are and you care about people, that goes through the camera, it goes right into them. They can sense it, they can feel it, and they want, naturally, human nature is when they like, trust, they're gonna subscribe, they're gonna lurk, they're gonna listen, and then when
Yep.
they need you, they're going to ask. And that's how, because you're providing so much value for free. You're providing so much
Right.
value for free. It's exactly why we do this channel. I mean, we do this channel, we provide the channel for free for those people that are wanting to get better at YouTube. But ultimately, we don't have a hidden agenda. We tell people we're doing this live stream so you'll sign up for our course. Like, we
Yep.
want you guys to get better. But we also know that it takes time for people to get to a point where they're like, I need some help. And that's like what you just said is so powerful, is that YouTube can be very lonely. It can be very
Mhm.
lonely unless you're around the right people. And you mentioned Jackie a few times. I know this isn't on our thing, but let's talk about really quickly what's the other thing that you learned in the course and that you've figured out that helps you stay motivated when you don't want to make content.
So, well, I mean, I've always had coaches, you know what I mean? I've always
Mhm.
had, people that I can, I talk to and whatnot, but I've always been told that accountability partners are, you know, mastermind partners. That's the key to, learning from each other and all that thing. I didn't really I've always had coaches, but I've never had that in real estate. But so, I'll never forget. So Christina, and this was probably before, gosh, this was probably in the fall, I think. And Christina, we were on one of the classes, and Christina is like, okay, who needs an accountability partner? And this was like after Vid Summit, so
Mhm.
2023. And she says, Rebecca Valera had just joined the course. And Rebecca, do you have a partner? Referral, an accountability partner? Nope. Okay. So Jen and Rebecca, you guys are now accountability partners. It was like an arranged marriage.
Yeah, you're like,
Okay.
wait, what? Who is
I'm
this
like,
person?
I'm a planner, Joe. You know this about me. I'm a
I do.
planner. I'm like, I haven't even talked to this person. I don't even know who this person is. I don't even okay, I trust you. And Rebecca and I get on the phone after the class afterwards. So I had an awesome conversation. And I'm like, okay, well, Christina knows what she's talking about. But that blossomed into like a couple months later. And then Angie joined the course.
Yep.
And Angie's looking for Angie reached out, and I'm like, oh no, we have this, Rebecca and I, we're accountability partners. No, we can't add anybody else, and the whole thing. And we're like, but I really like her vibe. you know, and
Yep.
so we added her in, and now it's 3 of us,
Yep.
and the information and, like, and we were meeting every I don't remember, I think it was Tuesday morning. I don't one morning because we changed it a couple times, but we're meeting weekly. They're in Texas. They're both in Texas. I'm in Massachusetts. So we go on Zoom every week, and we're changing ideas and holding each other, holding each other accountable and setting goals and all the things. And then Jackie Baker shows up.
Yep.
And Jackie, I'll never forget, Joe. Jackie messaged me, and I'm like, "Oh no," I didn't even know who Jackie was, and I'm like,
Mhm.
"Oh no, we already have 3 people. 3 people is enough. We can't have any more." And then I talked to the girls, and I'm like, "I don't," and they're like, "Yeah, yeah," and then I'm like, "Well, maybe."
Yeah.
And then Jackie and I became fast friends,
Yep.
and I mean, just because snarky humor, we have a lot in common, and all the stuff. But I think because also we're same time zone because she's in New
Yes.
Jersey, so
That helps.
it helps a lot. But it's like, I definitely don't want to discount Angie and Rebecca because it's like we talk all the time. We meet 5:30 a.m. their time, 6:30 a.m. our time every Tuesday morning. Period.
Yep.
Every Tuesday morning, we get on a Zoom. It's usually like an hour and a half. And like Angie's got kids, so she's got to drop off. Rebecca's got kids, so she gets, and whatever. But it's usually an hour and a half, sometimes 2 hours. Um, and I don't know how many times all of us will say, like we get on, it's like, good morning, everybody. And we're like,
Yeah.
and then, but by the time we're done, we're
You're
like,
you're pumped.
let's go. Let's go, and Angie's getting ready to launch her channel. She's been on, she's had a kind of windy road and launched, and then said this is, she went to Vid Summit and all the things, and discovered some things, and we're all super pumped for her and her success. But the fact that I've got this family, I coined us the YouTube queens.
Yep.
I even I even made I even made a sticker. Whoa.
Yeah.
The
That's
YouTube
awesome.
the YouTube queens,
Yep.
and, for, and whatnot, but they're my YouTube family. Like, of course, it in terms of, like, we talk all the time,
Yeah.
and to have that component, to be like, "I'm stuck." I mean, just this past week, Jackie's like, I gotta run this by you guys. Like, I don't know what to do with this title. I don't know what to do with this title." And then, and Angie and I were like, we just, ran it up the pole, and we talked it out and all the things. And there you go. So really, Jackie's success is because of us. So I'm just saying, it's all.
And she's gonna say that your success is because of her and all of the things. But there's
Oh,
there's a
no,
there's
but
a
it's.
lot of truth to, like, what you're saying with success, though, because you all have, you have, like minds. You want to have uh,
Mhm.
success on YouTube and you want to generate more business. And so each of you have different things that you can share, and people understand things differently at different times. And so when you're able to, like, especially, it's even more powerful when they're an accountability partner that has gone through the same course as you, so that you guys can actually say, what exactly were they talking about here? Why did they
Yes.
say this?
Oh, and we do
Why?
that all the time, Joe. All the time. We're like, "What the heck were they talking about? What was?" And sometimes we're like, "I have no idea. Let's figure it out."
Yeah. But
Or
it's
let's put the question in Discord or whatever. But it is true. And it's funny you say that because, I when I started this course, I thought my avatar, my viewer, was Greg, a first-time home buyer.
Mhm.
And I don't know if you remember, you reviewed my video. I created, like, 2 videos,
Yep.
and I edited them myself. I did all the things, and I'm like, this just I wasn't my heart wasn't in it.
Yeah.
I scrapped the whole thing. Scrapped the whole thing and started over. That's what Angie did. And I will tell you that her watching her get excited about her content and her titles and her playlist and the content that she's going to be creating is far different than what she was working on before.
It is.
Far different.
We had a
So
good conversation, and one of
she
those
said so.
things
She told
is
us about it.
oh, did she? What?
Oh,
Yeah.
of course.
Yeah,
Of course.
the thing is she's amazing, and she has all the
She
talent
doesn't
in the
know how
world.
amazing she is.
She
She
has
doesn't
all the
know.
talent in the world, and it's funny because it kinda goes back to what we were talking about finding your voice, where, like, that's what you need to find, and once you find that, you'll blow up because you have such talent and such energy, but you're focusing on the wrong thing. And it was crazy because even on the call, she just like you could just see like this sigh of relief, like, thank you. Like sometimes you just need someone to give you permission to do something that you already know you should be doing, but you just
And
don't for some
well,
reason.
yeah, and having your permission from the coaches that you look up to and respect is huge because we've been talking about it with her since, well, like, we spent 2.5 hours Tuesday night at Vid Summit, with her and her husband
Mhm.
and me and Jackie, just, hashing it out and all the whole 9 yards. But to run it by you guys and get the seal of approval and all the things and, endorse, the reinforcement is huge, but her heart is in it,
Yeah.
and I think that's the thing is like, and it doesn't matter if you're doing what type of content you're doing. I mean, you're doing home tours. If that really is something that you are passionate about, is that something that you don't have to be Jackie Baker. You don't have
No.
to be you don't have to be you
Be
gotta be
yourself.
who you are. And if that's a reserved person who is maybe a little bit like, that, you know what? You're gonna attract people that are like you.
Yep.
YouTube's a big space.
And there's lots of people on it.
There's a lot of
There's
people.
there's a
Listen,
question I want to get to really quick with this that
of
if you can
course,
give your input. It says if you post a video and it doesn't get any views in 24 hours, would you delete it and re-upload it? Also, do you put tags in your videos?
I absolutely would not delete it. I don't think I've ever deleted a video ever. Um, and the reason is because I make sure that I post content that is relevant to that particular viewer. And if you know that you've done your research, that you're like, okay, so that video definitely is something that my people would be interested in, and it's just not clicking. I think the thing you got to do, and this is just for me personally. I mean, like when I first launched, let me back up. If your channel is new or you don't have traction on your channel and you're just kind of like starting over, I'll be honest, the first 90 days, I didn't change anything, nothing. And Joe,
I
like
do.
after the first 90 days, I'm like, wait, it's okay to change things. I was nervous about changing because I was such a, had it ingrained that let it ride, let it ride. Why? Because sometimes videos, when the YouTube traffic director doesn't know where that video needs to go, sometimes they're like, well, we're just going to set it over here for a while and let it. Until we know who to put it in front of. We're just going to let it sit there for a little bit. But then all of a sudden, if a bunch of your other videos start resonating with people, which is what happened to me, okay, I had 250 views, 250 views, 250 views for weeks. And then I had one video that caught traction, and then all the others started to catch traction. And now the second video that I posted on my channel, the second video that it was like 100 views, 200 views. It has almost 50,000 views on it right now
Yeah.
because it knows where to put my video. So no, I would not delete your video. You got to let it ride. When you become clear on what your viewer, if sometimes like now, if because I have analytics, right? Because I have analytics to fall back on and I have different playlists for different content. I look at that playlist and I go, okay, typically I should be here with this video for this type of content,
Yep.
but I'm not. So that's a little red flag. And I will, excuse me, I will not change the title as much as I will resist changing the title as much as I possibly can, but change the thumbnail.
Yep.
But a small little tweak on the thumbnail, or I'll do an A/B test on the thumbnail. But if your channel isn't there yet, you don't have a lot of analytics to even know what your people are watching, I would not do that. But maybe on the next one, do more research and recon and behind it. As far as the tags are concerned, I'll be honest, I don't do any tags. I do like, no, I shouldn't say that. I have like default tags.
You might have some default ones in your profile that are automatically there every upload.
Well, yeah, I set it up when I set up my channel back in
Yep.
January, and I went through and to be honest, I looked at like Kristina's channel, and I looked at some other high rollers and with like some common real estate tags, you know, and whatnot. But tags don't do much in your. They don't. I mean, they play a little role, right? But I don't put. And that may be the wrong thing. But at this point, I don't do. I do whatever. I have my default set up. I don't add any tags. I do 3 hashtags on the video itself. One for the content, one for my channel, one for the playlist. And that's about it on that.
That's great advice. I think to go along with I concur with everything that Jen has said.
You concur? Oh my God, this is.
I concur.
I gotta write this down on October 17th.
Joe concurred, but I do think that you have to understand something. That if you want YouTube to work for you and you want YouTube to get your information out, you have to decide, one, what kind of content you're going to make, and you have to be specific. So if you're going to do home tours, you need to be home tours specifically. And then my advice would be, go find the biggest home tour channels on YouTube and go look and see what they're doing. Look at their titles, see how they're structuring their titles, see how long their videos are, see what thumbnails they're using, look at how they're doing their thumbnails. And I would, and not just one, just search in YouTube and start seeing all of the channels that do home tours. And you're going to find patterns. We talk a lot about patterns in the course. We talk a lot about patterns in Discord. We talk a lot of patterns even in this live stream. But what you're going to do is you're going to see patterns. And what Jen was talking about is she's learned to identify. Basically, she's a student of YouTube. She has learned how to read, and she's looking for patterns that fit for her viewer. So if you want to make those types of content, but you're not getting enough, you need to be more specific and you need to be more intentional on your thumbnail and your title. Very, very first. That's the first things that you should be better at, is thumbnail and title. And then look at how long the video is, put the content, and then look at the style. Maybe they're just walking through and they're not really saying anything. Maybe they're walking and giving you a personalized tour and talking. Look at those things and incorporate that into your content. And then the biggest thing is you got to let it cook. Like that's like we say this all the time. You got to give it some time. And there's a huge difference. So you might start out where tags are more like if you're trying, like maybe you're a new channel and you're trying to get a little bit of SEO search or a little bit of search traffic. But what we're talking about, if you want massive views, you're not going to go after search traffic. You're going to go after suggested traffic, and you're going to go after browse, like the stuff that shows up on the browse traffic, like, or related content or suggested content. Like those things are going to give you massive views. So again, like you want to make sure that you understand who is watching, and then go look and find other people that have done the same thing for who is watching, and find out why they got so many views. And a lot of it, you're going to see that there's patterns that they're using, or words in their title, like inside or luxury, or who knows, like there's all different kinds of things, but you're going to want to start writing those things down and incorporating those in the videos that you're making.
The one thing I concur. for starters.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I'm glad that you do.
The one thing though that that I think is super important though, and it's the trap that I absolutely fell into, didn't even realize I was falling into, is if you are a home tour channel, you do not look at my content,
Right.
Jackie Baker's content,
Right.
anybody else's content, because we're not doing home tours. So it does not matter the yellow bar, the yellow words, exposed, all the things, you know, the keywords doesn't matter because the person that's watching my stuff is not interested, not necessarily interested in your stuff, in your particular videos. And that's why it's super important if you are, you know, to emulate like type videos for inspiration, because it's all clues. All it is it's searching for clues. You know, you're going on these high level channels to be like, okay, so what is it that the viewer clicked on? Why did the viewer click on that particular video by Brad McCallum? And he got, you know, 50,000 views on a walkthrough home tour. Why? Why?
Yep.
What was in his thumbnail? Oh, his title, the price is very big. Okay. The size of the font, the type of font, how it's placed. What are his
Is he
descriptions?
on the title? Is he on the thumbnail? Is it
Is
just
he
the
on the
home and the
thumbnail?
price, you know?
Yes. So don't, you know, I think that the gurus and all those other, you know, unfortunately it's the type of thing that there's so much misinformation about the proper way to do YouTube. And one of the proper and one of the pieces of misinformation is that do this on all your videos and you'll be successful.
Yeah, doesn't work.
No, because that person has no idea who your audience is. No idea who your audience is and what works. Because the other thing too is that you're, you know, going back to what you said earlier, Joe, about your voice,
Mm-hmm.
your voice is going to attract certain types of people.
Right.
So my Michael, early 40s, is not Michael. It's not Greg anymore. It's now, it was Greg. I may have said Michael. It used to be Greg, not to confuse things. It doesn't matter. It's Richard. My avatar is Richard.
Yep.
And he's in his 50s. And they're selling their house for the first time in a long time. Because why? Because after 1 million views, yes, my analytics tell me a certain, you know, are giving me a certain message, but they also are showing up on my live stream. And certain types of videos resonate. The way I talk resonates. The way I deliver information, the way I put words on the screen and list. I'm a very list, you know, I like to have my content organized because that's who I am.
Right.
But you may not be the other, you know, totally different. And so a different person's going to resonate with you. And so that's why this one size fits all, you know,
Doesn't
add
work.
this keyword to your title, you'll be fine. No, it doesn't work that way. if it would, it's like the, you know, take the fat blocker pill, whatever, not, you
Mm-hmm.
take the pill and you'll get thin to, you know, in 2
Yeah.
weeks. Like if that worked for everybody, like everybody be doing it.
Right. I mean, all of the stuff that we've talked a bit about today, like, is super like informative. Like like this is just gold that's come out. Like I feel like people that are watching this, that if they'll take even one thing that you've talked about or that we've talked about and incorporate it, it's going to maybe it's not putting the content out, but maybe it's not putting enough time into studying YouTube to say, should I be putting this content out? Because that's the thing, right? Is it's like
Yep.
if it's not getting lots of views and not being shared or not being, you know, like it may not be a right video to make. And I think that's huge. It also might be that, man, I just struggle with motivation. Like I don't want to make a video. Well, maybe you need someone that they want to make videos too, and you call each other up or you message each other and say, hey, we both want to make videos. Like, tell me your goals, I'll tell you mine, and let's hold each other accountable to doing that. You know, like there's lots of different things, but it really does matter, like being intentional with what you're doing. You can't just expect to just wake up one day and maybe you get super lucky and something goes viral, but the odds of that happening are slim to none. And really, you have to be intentional, and you have to have your viewer in mind of who you're going to make content, which means you have to plan some stuff out.
So you bring up a great point. If I can just interject.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
For me, I had one video in July that went through the roof, and that kind of it propelled the channel. However, how many times do you see one video on a particular channel, on a real estate channel, does really well, and then the rest of their content just
is stagnant,
floss fat? Why? Because they don't understand why it took off.
Yeah.
They don't have a plan. And for me, I would rather have rather have slower views, but consistent. That's what I'm looking for. And it's like consistently higher would be nice. That's
Right.
always the goal.
Right.
But I always try, like, it's like, okay, this one is not a 300,000 view video, but if I can at least get it to a point where it's in line with the rest of the videos in that playlist, I know I'm on the right track. I'm on the right track, growing consistently. I just have to keep pushing to get in front of the right people, and keep continually, getting to that point of exposure. But it's you see the videos that are the channels that have some and all over the place. It's just it's knowing crystal clear. It's not it's a marathon.
Yeah.
It's not a sprint.
Yep.
You just got to put the work in, and you got to be patient. You got to be patient and learn. And I don't know, every night I'm sitting on my sofa with my laptop, and I'm watching TV, and I'm looking at YouTube, and I'm writing notes, and with jotting down notes on what I see, and and a comment on your earlier point, there have absolutely been videos that I've scrapped.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I would see something, I'm like, oh, that would be a good idea. And then I start researching it to come up with a good title and thumbnail. And I'm like, yeah, nobody's talking about this now. Nobody, nope. See ya. Trash can it goes, or maybe in the back burner or whatever, so, but then, I will say that when I made that commission video, nobody was talking about, like, people were talking about it, but not in the same way that I wanted to deliver the information.
Right.
And
you knew who you were talking to, and you knew what their questions would be.
And I pieced the thumbnail together based on my Recon channel.
Yep.
That thumbnail was not based on any inspiration. It was based on multiple inspirations on my channel. The news channel's doing this. The other people are doing this. This other Crash Bro's doing this. We're going to meld these together because I think this is going to work.
Yeah. But you had the data to back that up. And not only that, but you also had your gut, right?
My gut.
Like there's something that happens that, and we teach this in the course even, it's like, you're going to get to a point where you're going to know who you're making content better than we will know. So like, we can give you like the idea and the outline and how to do it. But once you understand it and once you internalize it, we may tell you something and you're going to go, no, that doesn't work for my person. And the cool thing is, we're totally fine with that. When we hear that, we're like, finally, like, they get it. We don't actually have, because we're teaching them how to understand and see those patterns rather than tell them what videos to make. Because we don't want to tell you what videos to make. We want to tell you how to find out what people want to know and how to resonate with them. So everything that you just mentioned right there is incredible, because it pieces everything together to where it's like, yeah, I kind of needed some training wheels for a minute just because I wasn't sure I trusted myself. And now you're on a bullet bike going, man, this is crazy. And I know exactly who I want to make my content for. And I have a pretty good idea of how they're going to respond. And I know what and when we have an avatar just really quickly before we finish, because we're already over like an hour and 10 minutes, but
Oh,
like
wow.
one of the things that you're going to find is that you're going to get people that it's when we say Mike or Richard or whoever your avatar is, it's a type of person. It's not just specifically one person, but it
Right.
resonates with one type of person that changes. And so that's why your views can tweak. But like going back to like all of these things is when you get to where, and I love that you said this, that it came from research, but it also came from me analyzing and putting these together because I knew how it would resonate with them. That
Right.
right there is when you're like, okay, you get it. And now the next thing is buckle up because you're going to scale, because that's the next step.
Yeah, and it's already started. I mean, it's cool when you start getting more and more of that data, um, the comments, you know, that's that we haven't talked. We won't get too deep, go deep into that now. That's a
That
whole
might be
nother
another live stream that we could definitely talk about though.
100%. But it's more like, I mean, the live streams, the comments, all that does is tell you who it is that you're watching and who shouldn't be there.
Right.
you know, but the voices of those folks, reaching out and taking the time to do that, that affects everything that I do.
Yeah.
Because, how I talk to them on the live stream, how I communicate to them in the video, I'm every day, every time understanding what their pain points are, what their concerns are, what they're seeking for knowledge, what they're confused about, what they need help with, not what I think they they need help with. That's probably one of the at the top of the list before I took the course.
Mm-hmm.
Going into that course, I'm like, I've been in this business for 28 years. I know what people want to know about. And then
Right.
I realized, oh no, I don't. No, because what I think they want is entirely different, which is why you have these real estate channels. If you have a real estate channel that has no views, it might be it's not as easy as this, but still, there's inevitably probably content there that you think people want to know about. How to write a contract. People do not want to, they don't care how to navigate, different parts of the real estate transaction. That's not top of mind for them.
Yeah.
Maybe that's a course, but what I'm saying is that having all that feedback, once you really start to understand, then it becomes way clearer on what, and when you start delivering the content that they actually care about, that train is left the station, and
Yeah.
it's exciting, and I'm as you can tell, I'm pretty excited about it.
Well, this has been an awesome live stream. You've literally like walked us through your process, through titles, through thumbnails, how you gather your information, and there's so many things. Like people should be watching this. If they like, even if you just watch this over and over, you're going to get different nuggets of information um, that will help you grow. But if you are, I'm going to do the plug.
Yes,
I'm going to
sign
do
up for the
I'm
course.
gonna do my plug. If you
Do it.
do want results that maybe you're not happy with where you're at and you want to further it, we have the Real Estate Video Geeks where you can, Kristina Smallhorn and myself and a bunch of other amazing people in the Real Estate Geeks community are there to help you and each of us grow on YouTube. So if you feel stuck, or if you want to grow, or if you're looking for it right now, you can go ahead and sign up. We are getting ready to do the next round, but we also are going to be raising prices. So if you're sitting on the fence, you're probably going to want to sign up because things are going to go up. We've what we really try to do is provide a ton of value, but our stuff works. We have students that have done extremely well. And now kind of our trial period, our testing period is like, we knew it works because of Kristina's success on her channel, but we actually have students now that are crushing it. And the thing is, we want you guys to crush it as well, but we also have limited availability and limited space because of how much work it really is. And to give everybody the the uh, the time that they need, we
Mhm.
need to, we need to kind of limit that. So that's why we're going to be bumping the price up, because we definitely want you to be successful. And of course, Kristina says Joe is getting scruffy. Look at this. I'm right in the middle of our pitch here, right in the middle of it. And this is what you have to say. So
You know what? You've got like that, like, what do they call that? The metro, I don't know what they call that thing. What do they call
I need it.
that?
It's gray. I have like, I don't really have a lot of gray hair, but my beard is gray for some
It
reason.
does, makes you look older.
I'm distinguished gentleman is what I say. So
Okay, well, we'll go with that, I guess. If that's what you want to go with, all right, we'll let that ride.
Look, I'm going to post this. Thank you, Joe. I concur. Thank you so much for that.
I actually,
yes.
can we talk about comments for a second? Can you talk about
let's go ahead.
comments? Jeepers, Joe Pareca. I had this guy, and I did it. Yes, I did a live stream Tuesday night, 45 minutes. We're on this live stream, and nobody would leave. So Jackie was on.
You're like, hey, you're like, I gotta go, and you're like trying to.
I know, and it was just like we just kept talking and talking. So an hour and 45-minute live stream, and I had somebody comment that, geez, it would really be nice if you put timestamps on this thing. Oh, next question. We're providing free content. That's great. You can do that.
Comments can derail you pretty fast, especially your train of thought. If you're like, have something that you're like, oh, I want to talk about that. And then you get like the thoughts like Kristina, right in the middle of my pitch, geez. And then it derails you. And it's hilarious how like you can go down this. But the thing is it's all about human interaction. And so now she's referencing, like, for her live streams, when she's like, someone's announcing something and saying that this is her comment, this isn't the airport. Good looking Joe, you don't need to announce your departure. Because we talked about that, like when people like say things on a live stream that, whatever. Hey, oh, by the way, I don't know if you can hear this. Can you hear this? So look what I got. So I finally broke down and got one.
Oh, you got the big boy.
Yeah, I finally broke down.
I can't hear it. No, I can't hear it. Nothing's coming through.
I haven't done anything with it yet, but see if it works here. Let's see. Did it come through? No text?
Nope.
I might not have shared the when I did my audio settings on this live stream, but on my other one, I do have it set up. But I have one that it does like the Napoleon Dynamite idiot. So I have.
Oh, I want that. You know what? I actually did this thing. Somebody asked me. I was on Jackie's live stream on Monday, and somebody commented about what we thought about the Crash Bros.
Yeah.
And I said, Jackie, I got one thing to say about that.
Oh my God! Who the hell is?
That's hilarious.
Not against the viewer, and she's like, "No, I know, we get that," but it was just, I'm like, that's kind of perfect. But no, you know what this live stream is? That's what this live stream is all about. The more you know. There you go.
I love it.
The more you know.
Jen said, or Kristina is saying, what camera is Jen using for a live stream?
I'm using a Sony mirrorless E10. It's a ZV-E10. ZV-E10. Good grief. With a Sigma 16 millimeter lens. It is a super popular setup for YouTube talking head videos and live stream. If you go on YouTube, I did a ton of research, and this camera is the bomb. And I do not plug my camera directly into my computer. I go through a capture card so I can get that high resolution.
What one are you using? Like a Elgato?
A Cam Link. I'm doing that. Yeah, Elgato Cam Link.
Yep.
For the capture card, 100%.
Yeah, so I have it as well, and I think the only thing that I'm going to change is the lens, because the Sigma is very crisp. Right now, mine's more of a soft one.
Yes.
But if you want kind of like that news channel crispness, like very sharp, then that lens will do. And then the other thing, I know we're going off on it. We're like 120, man. Like I got a coaching thing in a minute. Really fast. We're going to end with this is there's so much with equipment, live streams, cameras, all of that in the Discord. If you want to join, go to realestatevideogeeks.com. Right there, you can sign up and you can chat with us because we do our coaching calls. We have all those things. Yes, Jen.
I would just say that I am putting together a list for all of my equipment,
Awesome.
which will be on my website. And I will be putting a link in my on my channel so that if anybody wants to go to my channel and they want to check and see, and I'm going to list. My intention is to list everything I have depending on where you are in the process. So if you're just starting, you're just using your iPhone, which I did for my entire Living in Plymouth channel. You can absolutely have a channel with just your iPhone. You don't need a mirrorless camera, but I'm going to put all that together. Joe Pareca, I will send you affiliate links because yes, I have an Amazon affiliate account. And if you are going to buy the camera, you buy it with my link, then it's the same price. But
yeah, but you give someone a little bit, give someone a little something for pointing you in the direction.
Jackie does. Every time Jackie buys something, she's like, she basically says, okay, Jen, I need a microphone. Which one do I buy? All right,
I need to figure out how to connect. Can you hear that? No?
Yeah, I'm going to help you. You know what? After the stream, I'll help you out real quick.
This one, I only had like 2 seconds to jump on. Thank you guys so much. Jen, thank you. Always a pleasure to talk with you. And likewise. Kristina, I can say whatever I want because you're not on the live stream. But anyway. She'd be like, there'll be some snarky comment or whatever. But
it's your show right now, Jen.
Yeah, it's my show. She's like, hey, you got it. And I'm like, yes, I do. So
yes,
we're glad that you were here, Jen. You dropped some real good nuggets of information. And thank you so much for sharing your time that is so precious. So
of course, my pleasure.
Yeah. Thank you guys. And until next week, we'll see you later. Bye.
Ciao.
I don't have an outro, so I'm just going to hit end stream.